hometown station.
Santa Clarita's hometown station, KHTS. Make sure you go to hometownstation.com for all the latest and greatest Santa Clarita has to offer. Speaking of the greatest Santa Clarita has to offer, special guest in studio, back from the dead, it seems, right?
Almost.
You were down and out there.
I was down now for the last few weeks with bronchitis and pneumonia, but back in action.
Yeah, you're back. You got your cough drops, your tea, and all the other stuff that you need.
And I've got my radio voice today.
Oh, see, there you go. This is perfect. He's John Musella. He is the chair of the Santa Clarita Chamber of Commerce, at least for the time being.
A few more days through December 31st, round out the year.
So this is what we're doing. We've been doing. We had formerly Mayor Smythe on. Cameron Smythe joined me a little while ago to talk kind of the year in review. And I wanted to talk to you about the same thing. 2017 was, if you look at the national media, it was kind of a crazy year. Here in the Santa Clarita Valley, you could argue the same thing. It's been kind of a crazy year as well. But in terms of when did you get sworn in? You get sworn in like January 1st?
I officially ceremonially sworn in end of January, but officially took over January 1. It's a full calendar year.
So how from then to now? What are your thoughts on it?
The Santa Clarita Valley Chamber from then to today is a completely different organization. We have literally taken this organization down to the studs, down to the foundation, and redone everything top to bottom across the board. It was in desperate need. We had some contractual obligations that weren't great for the chamber. We had some financial issues we need to settle. And when we started the year, I said we're going to make the chamber bigger, better, and stronger. And we were not going to continue to kick this proverbial can down the road of financial issues, that we needed to settle these things and get the chamber back on track. And I said we weren't going to kick that can down the road. We were going to stomp on that can and put it to bed. And we did. So we were able to, the biggest thing hanging over our head was our lease on Turney Road. We were, paying over $10,000 a month for a space that was 3 times as large as what we actually needed. And we had, an obligation for that space for another 3 years, which was an enormous amount of money for the chamber. So we were able to settle with the landlord to get out of that lease space. We went to City Hall for the year, free rent. We just paid for utilities. We're very grateful for the city to allow us to do that. That really allowed us to get back on our feet financially. We cut our overhead expenses top to bottom across the board. We looked at every line item in the budget, where we were spending money, from storage units to all of our contractual obligations. We renegotiated every contract and agreement, and we have come out on the other end basically in 9 months, 100% debt-free for the chamber, which was huge to do.
So was that something when you came in, you're like, I know you said you want to be bigger, faster, stronger, all that stuff, but did you see the books and you're like, guys, this is where we need to start?
Yeah, no, I mean, I saw the books, and, running a chamber of commerce is a lot like running a small business, and I run a small business, and you've got to be mindful of every dollar that comes in, especially when you're a nonprofit, and a lot of your income is coming from your members, and your members are entrusting you with their dollars to spend them wisely, to provide business services and represent them, be the voice of business locally. So we had a real responsibility to be wise about those dollars, and we just went line by line, invoice by invoice, everything that we were spending money on, we relooked at, renegotiated, and we cut a ton out of the budget. Because when you're a small business, you've got to keep up on these things. You've got to monitor where the dollars are coming, every penny, to make sure you're spending them wisely and for the best results at the end of the day.
So you wanted to accomplish that? Do you think you've accomplished what you wanted to accomplish?
Absolutely. I mean, the fact that, the debt and the things that we had hanging over our head, the financial arrangements, were an absolute killer for the chamber. And, a lot of people don't realize this, but we were really at the brink of no return. And it was either going to be, laying the chamber to rest or having an actual revival. And I'm very proud to say that, we were going to have a revival and that the chamber is back.
That's good news.
Yeah, it's great news. It's great news for the business community because, when you represent the 3rd largest city in LA County, this community deserves to have a strong chamber of commerce, a strong advocate for business, because we do have major corporations here, from Princess Cruises to Scorpion, across the board, Kaiser Permanente, UCLA Health are all here. We've got great, strong businesses. We've got great local businesses, bakeries and sewing shops and dry cleaners and all these great local businesses, CPAs, etc., that need to be represented and heard and network and grow their businesses. And that's really what the chamber is all about, is helping people grow business and be productive, do well and represent the business community to our local elected officials as well.
And it's probably tough to do that when you're financially unstable and worried about that.
Yeah,
right?
when you're so focused on the financials and how you're going to basically, make payroll the next week, you can't provide the services your members demand. And so we really had to get the financial ship righted and put that to rest so that we could actually focus on what's important. For too long, we were focused on how do we pay the rent, how do we pay the employees, how do we do these things, how do we get more money in. And now that we've been able to kind of clear the decks and lighten the load, we're able to be, far more efficient with all that we're doing and much more responsive at the end of the day for our members, which is really, really terrific. It's a great feeling.
He's John Musella. He is the chair of the Santa Clarita Chamber of Commerce, and he did his best to right the ship, and you feel great about what you were able to accomplish. Right?
Fantastic. It was a labor of love.
And so again, you're a volunteer for.
Volunteer, yeah. So, what we did is we cut overhead expenses, we cut staff. I took over the day-to-day operations of the chamber on a volunteer basis. My staff at my company put in a lot of time, effort, and hard work on running the Chamber of Commerce day-to-day, filling in the gaps and helping out where it needed to be. And so that made a huge difference that the chamber didn't have to have those overhead expenses, and we were able to save that money, pay things off, settle things, renegotiate, and get us to where we are today. And by doing all of that and becoming debt-free, we were then able to sit down this year and actually work on a strategic plan for the chamber, looking forward to next year, short-term as well as long-term goals, and where we want to be, what we want to do, and what are the services that our members need. So we went out with a survey this year to our members and non-members, because we also want to know, if you weren't a member of the chamber, why weren't you a member of the chamber, and what could we be doing to help you come back to be a member of the chamber? So we surveyed our members, we found out what was important to them, what was important to non-members. We created a strategic plan with the help of Holly Schroeder over at the Santa Clarita Valley Economic Development Corporation. She led us through this effort. And we approved a strategic plan this fall, and we are in the process right now of getting ready to implement that starting January 1. So it's really an exciting time to be involved with the chamber. We're back. We're bigger, we're better, we're stronger, and 2018 is going to be an absolute terrific banner year for the chamber.
So for those who don't know anything about the Santa Clarita Valley Chamber of Commerce, obviously there's every once in a while there's a mixer, and like you see those all the time. But what exactly does the Santa Clarita Valley Chamber of Commerce do for businesses and small businesses and the Santa Clarita Valley in general?
Sure. No, I think it's kind of twofold, or maybe it's threefold. One, obviously, as you mentioned, it's the networking aspect, getting people to know each other in the community, which obviously helps with networking and growing your business and promoting and branding your company and yourself. The other part of that is the advocacy work that the chamber does on behalf of business in working with our city of Santa Clarita, the county of Los Angeles, and our local state legislators on important issues in Sacramento that affect business, from workers' comp issues right on down the line. So there's a lot of things that we do to create a voice of business, because when you represent 1,000 companies and 30,000 workers in the third largest city in Los Angeles County, that's a really strong voice. And you've got to have an organized and strategic effort to represent those businesses and these folks. The other things that we also provide to our members is access to information. Because we're working closely with our local elected officials, because we're working closely with the Economic Development Corporation and other groups in the Valley, the Chamber has, up-to-date current information and forward-thinking information in the Valley that could be of benefit to local businesses and companies if they're participating in our educational seminars and different things. They have access to information that other businesses obviously wouldn't have access to by being a member and participating. So there's definitely, working together, networking, and being a voice of business is really what it's all about.
Awesome. And again, we're speaking with John Musella for the time being until Sunday. So are you going to celebrate? Is there some sort of celebratory thing you're going to do?
I'm the almost immediate past chairman. It's interesting because we've run the chamber day-to-day operations, and we have a new chair coming in, Troy Hooper at TPC. He'll be a great chair in 2018. But because we had such success managing the chamber, the board has actually asked us, the Musella Group, my company, to continue managing the chamber. So we've been retained by the chamber board to manage the chamber going into 2018 with the top priority.
So you're not going anywhere?
I'm not going anywhere. Well, and I think continuity is important in this, is that we've had such a great year turning things around, and now we're getting ready to launch all the things that we've talked about and wanted to do. that I think continuity of leadership and management is important. So I'm going to be there in a supporting role for Troy and the chamber in helping, continue to manage the day-to-day operations of the chamber, really get these things off the ground and moving. And I'm excited about it. I mean, I worked hard this year. We all worked hard this year, and I think it's important to see the job through at the end of the day. And that's what I want to do, is make sure that all of our hard work this year was for naught, and that we get things moving in the right direction next year.
And so what do you have specific goals for 2018? It's always, this time of year, people come up with their New Year's resolutions. What are the New Year's resolutions for the Santa Clarita Valley Chamber of Commerce?
Well, I think we just go back to our strategic plan and what it is we have, on tap for 2018. One of the things we just announced at the end of this year, just last week, was that COC Chancellor Dr. Diane Van Hook is going to be joining the Chamber Board, which is a great thing for the Chamber. And she's coming in, joining the board, and she's going to be the founding chair of the Chamber Institute. And what the Chamber Institute is going to be, it's going to be twofold. It's going to have the Leadership SCV program, which is a leadership training program for mid and senior level executives in the Valley to learn about the Valley and leadership skills that are needed here in Santa Clarita. And then the second part of that's going to be developing a new think tank with senior and executive level executives here in Santa Clarita to tackle one or two issues a year that are specifically important to the business community. So we're launching the Chamber Institute to really get involved in, what the business community needs, and addressing that head on with, senior level attention, as well as providing the leadership training that our mid-level folks need to be able to grow into those senior level positions in the Valley and understand why it's important to be involved in Santa Clarita, and being one of the most business-friendly cities in the country is important, and what does it take to do that and maintain that, and that's all part of that leadership training exercise. In addition, in February, we're going to launch our inaugural Current Affairs Forum, and we have the president of the California Chamber of Commerce coming to talk to us in February about what's on tap this year in 2018 for the state legislature, give us some insight to politics.
That's really important.
As the legislative session starts, I think that's going to be, really exciting. We're also going to be putting together our business expo, which we used to do. It's going to be on a little bit different scale. It's going to have a little different focus, but we're going to bring back that business expo, which is important to local businesses to be able to show off who they are and what they do, because I think that's important. It's something that's been missing in the Valley. We're also working with some of our local healthcare providers to put together a health fair for this fall of 2018 as well, to show off, again, all the healthcare providers in the Valley and what there is to offer here. So, I mean, we've got a lot of great things that are getting ready to happen. I think one of the fun ones we're going to also do they're called retail walks. And we are going to be working with our local elected officials to do retail walks in individual areas of the Santa Clarita Valley. So we'll do a retail walk in a specific area of Canyon Country, downtown Newhall, Valencia, and we will take a couple business leaders out with a local elected official and literally walk door to door and talk to business owners and retailers about their concerns, issues, trials, troubles, and tribulations, and things they need from the chamber, as well as, the city and the county. So I think it's going to be a great opportunity for us, again, to interact with local businesses and show that we're doing something and being responsible and helpful to our local businesses.
Awesome. So 2018 should be an exciting year for the Santa Clarita Valley Chamber of Commerce.
It is going to be very exciting.
You did some gritty work, though, here in 2017 to get the fruits of that labor.
I was definitely down in the weeds with my sleeves rolled up, getting things put together. No, listen, I mean, like I said earlier, it was either going to be lay the chamber to rest or was going to be a chamber revival.
Yeah.
And we all wanted this to be a chamber revival. And the board and the business leaders and the community and our partners all came together to support the chamber in a way that was really heartwarming to see. And I think they saw the personal effort being put in, by myself, by the board, by other folks, to really turn the organization around and get serious about business. And that made all the difference in the world. So, I mean, we had a lot of people call and offered their help and assistance along the way. And we couldn't have done it without our partner members, our members, local supporters, the city of Santa Clarita, the county, et cetera. It's been a great team effort, and it's been very heartwarming to be part of that.
He's John Musella. He is, for the time being, the chair of the Santa Clarita Valley Chamber of Commerce. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate you doing that. I know you were down and out.
Glad to.
Appreciate you. You playing hurt today.
So all good. Thank you for the opportunity.
Again, go to hometownstation.com for all the latest and greatest Santa Clarita has to offer. John Musella, chair of the Santa Clarita Valley Chamber of Commerce.